REKT Podcast is brought to you by Honeyminer. Want to get into mining but never had the technical skills or time? Honeyminer is your answer. Honeyminer is the one-click install mining software that allows you to mine Bitcoin immediately. What are you waiting for? Go to honeyminer.com and start mining Bitcoin while you sleep today. That's honeyminer.com, on Twitter at @GetHoneyMiner, and on Telegram at t.me/honeyminer.
I'm Socal Crypto, and this is REKT.
Welcome to REKT Podcast. I am Bunchu Betts alongside my wonderful partner in crime, Chamber. How are you?
Doing good. Got a belly full of turkey, half liter of gravy in my gullet too. So, feeling a little woozy. But
a whole half liter of gravy?
You didn't want a large, you wanted a whole liter, huh?
That's right. No, a half liter. Not a farva amount.
Yeah. You just went half farva. All right.
Yeah, just a half farva amount of gravy.
So we got Chamber with a full belly and a half farva of gravy. We've got a very special guest with us tonight. You definitely know him from crypto Twitter. He is a big trading personality on Twitter. We have Socal Crypto with us tonight. How you doing, man?
Hey, what's going on, guys?
We are very honored to have you. We are looking forward to this conversation. So thank you very much for joining us. You've been waiting for this one for a little bit. So let's get right into it, man. So we typically start these off with our guests kind of letting the audience know kind of where you started your whole crypto journey. When did you get in? How long and how'd you kind of get to where you are today?
All right. Well, as most great stories, to tell that one, I must first tell another. I actually learned of Bitcoin a few years before I actually got into it. I was actually at one of my friend's houses when I was home on leave from a deployment to Iraq in 2009, 2010, and I was at my friend's house hanging out, and he was telling me about this new internet money that that came out, and drug dealers are using it to bypass the feds and blah blah blah. So yeah, I was like, oh yeah, that's cool. Well, I gotta go back to war now, so that's not really something I need to worry about right now, So I kind of didn't really pay it much mind after that, and about a couple years went by, and I finally did get into Bitcoin. Bought my first Bitcoin at the end of 2013. So that's when my crypto journey actually started. However, I was aware of crypto for several years prior to that. Just decided to disregard it like an idiot. But oh well, I still got in at a fairly decent time. So, but yeah, I've been in since the end of 2013, and I love it.
So what was the price of Bitcoin when you first got in 2013?
When I first got in, the price was just running up to the brief $1,300 mark. I think it was around $800 or so on the way up.
Okay.
Yeah, which very quickly afterwards it came back down again.
Right.
But started that whole 2-3 year long bear market that was just awful.
That was tough. Now, were you in the bear market the whole time? Like, you're just trading against it? And
I was losing my ass, yeah.
Okay.
I mean, that's how I learned trial by fire, man.
Yeah, I hear you.
But, yeah, so... yeah, I was in the whole time during the 2014-2015 crash and everything, the bear market and the die-off of a bunch of alts and exchanges and just all that greatness. Yeah, I was there for all that. Lost a lot of money too, but learned a lot, which became useful later on. So
That's good. Invaluable lessons.
Yeah, I'll claim it as at least a break even.
Sure, exactly.
So talk about that bear market that you saw back then and how that might kind of either have some similarities to what we're seeing now. I think probably most of our listeners were not around during that time. I know Chamber and I were not. So talk about that versus kind of what we're experiencing now. What kind of similarities you see, what's different maybe, and kind of give some advice to some people out there.
Well, with the differences I've seen so far is this market has seemed a lot more condensed, as in the time frames, the cycles are more compressed. They're happening a lot faster. So hopefully that will in turn lead to a much shorter wait before the next bull run as compared to the almost 3 year bear market we had last time. So hopefully this cycle's a bit more compressed. My personal opinion, which is hashtag not financial advice, my personal opinion is is probably towards at the earliest, closer towards the end of the year, Christmas, New Year, around there, to anywhere all the way out to, I'd say, the middle of next year before we actually get a confirmed trend reversal. But something that has made me a little excited is, I don't know if you guys noticed, but the real tight ranging on Bitcoin with all the random ass pumps on some of these alts that have been occurring the past week or so.
Yeah, having a big, I have a big variety of alt bags, and watching them kind of, not all of them, but a few of them had some nice spikes in the last couple of weeks. So yeah, no, I'm getting excited too.
So we actually have a news story that's related to this. So I'm gonna hold you off till we talk about that, because I definitely want your opinion on that, and it's related to one of the news stories we picked exactly for this reason. So, it's perfect that you bring that up. But so were you, when you first started, in crypto and everything like that, did you have any kind of, trading experience? How did you learn how to, what really got you to the point where you are today?
Well, truthfully, I did as a retail investor. As a personal investor, I've actually been interested in, stocks, bonds, commodities, all that greatness, since I was like 10, man.
Oh, really?
Because even that early, I was like, holy shit, I could make money with this. But no, obviously, no broker was going to open up an account for a 10-year-old. So, I wasn't able to actively start trading until I was 18. But, which was, I turned 18, let's see, when, I don't even know, 2006. So even 2 years before even crypto was invented. So yeah, I was trading in the stock market and stuff for 2 years prior.
Interesting.
I approached crypto like I approached stocks, and you know what? That did not work at all.
That was my next question, is how did that experience kind of relate or not relate?
Yeah. It was bad. So that's when I knew something that, it took me a little bit, but once I realized, okay, this isn't working, something needs to change, that's when I went looking for something else, something new. And that's more or less when I found baby pips.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
And
Sounds like a Halloween candy. What is that? I don't know.
Right?
What that is.
No, you don't know what Baby Pips is?
I don't know.
Chamber? Oh my god!
Jesus.
All right,
Hey.
you have homework, Chamber.
It's REKT podcast. I don't know.
You
And
have-
I want to see your certificate when you're done, damn it.
Yeah.
Anyway, babypips.com. It is a website that's completely free that has a bunch of courses that teaches you how to trade Forex. Well, as we all know, trading Forex is 99% similar to trading crypto. Mm-hmm. So it's extremely useful for teaching you how to trade crypto. And it even goes into stuff such as leverage and all that kind of stuff. It covers basically all the basics. And that with a little bit of B-bands and cloud thrown on there you go, buddy. That's what you need to learn. But anyway, I digress.
I'm surprised you haven't heard of Baby Pips, Chamber. It's like,
I may have heard of it, but I definitely haven't visited the site yet.
You should definitely take a look because I've done about half of the
really?
stuff on there. Yeah, I've done about half of the stuff on there. I haven't had time lately.
Does it go into like Bollinger Bands and Ichimoku and all that fun stuff?
It goes more into like, you know, price action trading, trends, and things like that. I don't know. I might not have gotten there yet. Does it go into that kind of stuff, Socal?
Sorry, what?
Does it go into stuff like indicators and things like that?
Oh, yes, it does. Indicators, different patterns to recognize, you know, like the 3 black crows pattern or the morning star and, you know, dragonfly doji and all that kind of stuff. So it goes into all of that stuff.
Yeah, so a lot of price action type stuff.
Oh, yeah, and it's all, like I said, entirely free, which is the best part.
That's awesome. All right.
And it's a lot of content. So
it is.
Look at that.
Chamber, so for you looking
we'll learn together, people.
I was going to say, when you you talk about your TA adventures and trying to learn some TA, this is
there you go, buddy.
A must-have.
That's it.
This
Oh,
is a
absolutely. It sounds like it.
So you have the Socal Baby
Seal of
Pips
approval.
homework challenge. Yeah.
Do I get a Socal ref link is the question. I don't know.
Dude, if they had ref links for Baby Pips, I'd be a billionaire by now, all right? I don't know how because the site's all free.
Right, exactly.
But I would still be rich somehow.
Maybe like university credits or something? I don't
yeah,
know,
sure. Why not? I don't know.
That's so funny. All right, so then, you know, so you kind of learn how to trade crypto this way. You've been doing it now for obviously about 5 years. You're full time now, correct? As of you know, like last spring-ish, around then?
Around March.
That's awesome. So how did you get there?
George just lucky, I guess.
What's the full-time crypto life like?
Oh man, it is degenerate as hell, but awesome. I get to spend all day with my kids.
That's cool.
Which is, that's awesome.
That's underrated. That's underrated. That's a good
great.
time.
My daughter, I've completely messed with her head. She has no idea how jobs work. Poor girl's 4 years old, and you know, for 1 year I was in Kuwait, so I was gone for an entire year. So she thought, oh, Daddy's at work, so that means he goes away for a year.
Yeah, I gotta go to work. Oh no! I guess no Christmas this year.
And then I stay home all the time, and no, Daddy's at work right now. Okay, so Daddy goes to work, and now he stays home. All right. So I'm pretty sure that poor girl has no idea how jobs work, but
that's funny.
That's hilarious.
I got a 5-year-old daughter, and I work from home for a living. So if I ever made the jump to full-time crypto, it'd be seamless. She just assumes I don't work, and I'm a recluse in my basement.
I was just thinking, I was like, man, you know, all my neighbors, because you know, I hear them go to work every morning, and it's like, man, 100%. They gotta think I'm like a drug dealer or something, because I'm just here all the time.
I feel you 100% on that one. I get the looks from my neighbors all the time. We got a nice house, we have 2 cars, and my wife, stays at home and watches our daughters. Well, our youngest daughter now, and I don't leave the house rarely.
Yeah,
No, they know something's going on. I'm like,
it's like whatever.
let them think what they want. At least they don't mess with me that way, so it's good.
Exactly. Nobody's coming over asking for a cup of damn sugar.
Exactly.
So has there been any, challenges and stuff like that since you've gone full time? Anything that you weren't expecting, or anything along that you thought would be, different? Obviously, other than Bitcoin price.
Yeah, I was about to say profitability. That's really it. But I mean. No, it's all basically been about as I expected, which is I go full time and then get shit on. So yeah,
that's awesome.
It happens. But
so when Twitter personalities go full time crypto is the market indicator. Is that what we're saying?
Right.
Yeah, just straight against that. We'll know when at the top of the next bull run when I say I'm going full.
When when Socal has to get another job, a real job.
Right.
Anyway.
Not again.
Yeah, I hear you, man. Sounds like a good life. If Chamber and I could sit around and podcast all day, that would be the glory days. But...
Oh man, there's a lot because I'm the PR guy for Pearl, PIRL.
Oh, okay.
So I do stuff for them throughout the day. Got to try and keep an eye on Twitter and Discord and whatever things we're working on for them. And I'm also associated with the military token Mills.
Cool.
So I'm helping Doc with that. The CEO's Dr. Cotton.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm helping him with that. So yeah, I'm pretty busy most days.
Cool. Yeah, that's awesome.
And that's not even getting into my own personal trading and master nodes and mining and all that kind of greatness. So on any given day, I'm doing about 5 different things.
Yeah, I mean that's kind of a cool way to live though. Nothing's the same every day, and you're always getting your own new challenges and things like that. But cool, that's a really awesome journey, awesome story. So we wouldn't be REKT podcast though if we didn't ask you some of your most REKT stories as well. You got any good ones to share?
Man.
Never REKT.
We could be here all night.
Give us your favorite.
Okay, let's see. I got a couple here. Let's see. How about when the OK Casino entirely annihilated my whole life? When Bitcoin dropped to $150 for a split second there, and it was at the very beginning of 2015. It was like January something or not. It was the very beginning, like the first week or so. And yeah, there was like a little, I'm not going to say a flash crash because it lasted for longer than half a second, but it only lasted for like 5 minutes. But in trading time, that's for fucking ever.
Oh my God.
So yeah, it went down to 150 for a good couple minutes at least.
From what? Where was it at?
Well, that was the very bottom of the drop from 1,300 that had begun at the beginning of 2014. It was a long, slow bleed out through all of 2014, and the very, very bottom was $150, really? Or at least on OK Casino, that was the very bottom. And yeah, I got margin called like a bitch. Oh God, it was bad. And then my all-time favorite, and only my other old-timer crypto people will understand this, but I invested far more Bitcoin than was responsible into floating TPs.
I don't even know what that is. Please explain.
What?
The Moby. Archcoin. Yeah, it was a thing, guys. Trust me, it was a thing, and I lost a lot of money. Hey, but you know what? That was actually one of my most valuable lessons right there. And also, to tell you the truth, that whole fiasco actually led to some of my most treasured and closest friends in crypto today, like Dumb and Noose. Just to name a few. So, you know, there was a lot of us that met through that project.
Were you at the...
all got annihilated together.
Were you at the Noose wedding?
So, I had every intention of going. And then for my birthday, which was a few days, which was actually the day that I was supposed to leave to go, I got, for my birthday, a $500 bill. So, yeah, I was like, well, fuck. All right. So, and that was on top of a bunch of other shit going down. But that was just like the straw that broke the camel's back, you know? So I had to not go. I had a lot of stuff go down. I was sick for half the month. My grandma died. Yeah, September was a terrible month for me.
That's a real life REKT month right there.
Yeah,
right?
It was. Yes.
I saw some pictures of that. Dumb's first suit, obviously, but at least you didn't, at least you didn't do this. So I was at a wedding this weekend, and it was a buddy of mine from high school, and he had invited one of our other very close friends from high school, and it's time for the ceremony. I'm in the wedding, so I have like a nice look at all the crowd, and I don't see him, and I'm like, this is a really uncharacteristic thing of him to do would be to not show up. And so I'm looking, and then he's supposed to sit at our table. He doesn't show up. And the next morning I text him at the airport. I'm like, hey man, I hope everything's okay. You know, we missed you at the wedding, blah, blah, blah. And he goes, oh my God, the wedding was this weekend? And I'm like, yes, you dumb ass. And so he had thought it was the following weekend, so he didn't show up. And I go, when did you realize? He goes, literally right now when you just texted me. So
whoa.
That was pretty brutal, but at least you didn't do that. So anyway, cool, man. So I guess we can use that as your real life REKT, unless you have any other good real life REKT stories you want to share with us.
I plead the fifth.
That's probably the right move.
It's probably the right move. Awesome. So we will go right from that into our news. Chamber, what do we got for us in the news?
Today, big day. This is directly, obviously, from ccn.com, the only source of news I look at, because it's the only one I've saved on my desktop. Crypto giant Binance will donate all coin listing fees to charity. So I woke up this morning, and one of the first tweets I saw was CZ kind of, throwing shade at all the other exchanges, saying, I kind of hope everybody else starts to do this kind of thing. And then I kind of started digging in a little bit. I started reading that he's only donating to his own nonprofit.
Yeah.
Is that?
Yeah.
Did anybody else hear that?
And I would much rather prefer he didn't charge, criminal listing fees.
Millions of dollars.
Yeah, whereas, like everybody's pointed out, for example, NASDAQ only charges $250,000, and these assholes are charging $2.5 million.
Right.
Okay, let's do the math on that one, jackass.
Yeah,
but,
no kidding.
Anyway, I digress. So, funds are seifu, whatever.
Yeah, like I would have been fine with it had they just put out that that news article and that news presser. That's cool. But then the fact that he goes on Twitter and kind of throws shade at everybody else, it's like, okay, well let's be honest here. Do we need to do that?
So what is his own nonprofit, and what is the deal with that? I wasn't aware of that until you just told me.
I was gonna say
it's called Children Are Seifu.
Yeah,
it's it sponsors orphanages for underprivileged children
in Malta. Only in Malta.
Only in Malta.
Only in Malta, but only in Malta. Correct.
Yeah,
that's
because it's entirely funded with B&B.
That's right.
Oh my God, that's so funny.
All of those burnt B&Bs go directly into the
Children Are Seifu fund.
Yeah, that's right.
So that's pretty interesting. I didn't realize that. So that's a whole different ball of wax. If you ask me, it's not as genuine and unselfish as it seems.
There's a lot of layers to this stinky onion.
Right, exactly. So,
Jesus Christ. He's just sounded exactly like Kyle Kinane right there.
Shout out Kyle Kinane, one of my favorite comedians. You got to listen to the Boogie Monster podcast if you're not listening to that one.
CZ, if you're listening, you're welcome to come on to discuss, But anyway, speaking of exchanges, though, I was able to sit in on a pretty cool beta presentation from Beaksy Exchange today, and I got to see a lot of really cool stuff that it's going to be doing. They talked about how, upon launch, it's going to be 10 times faster than Binance, things like that. So, Binance maybe better watch itself. We've heard Cynthia say a couple times on here, make the bold prediction that it's going to overtake Binance. And I mean, from what I saw today, it's pretty interesting stuff. And let's
just overtake Poloniex first, and then we'll knock them off one at a time.
You got to conquer one at a time.
That's right.
But
I hopped in on that call for like the last few minutes, and then Bunchu had to text me and say, "Hey, turn off your mic,"
because I could hear your daughter in the background.
I just put on. So she's 5. At October I do nonstop horror movies. So I'm trying to ease her into new horror movies. So I had just put on Monster Squad, the great 80s movie, Monster Squad. So that's also what was playing in the background for that.
God, it's so funny. It's like a professional presentation. Chamber jumps on to this call and he's not muted, and
it's like Monster Squad, Monster Squad. Jesus.
And then I like messaged him on Telegram in all caps, and I'm like, mute yourself, and he's like, you didn't have to yell at me.
Feel bad enough.
That's pretty funny. But shout out Beaksy, because I saw some pretty cool stuff there today, which was cool.
When I was in Chicago, I got to meet Artuk and those guys behind Beaksy, and I am impressed, to say the least.
Right?
I'm super stoked.
I'm telling you, the things I saw just on this little presentation today was pretty impressive. But anyway, all right, so this is the news story I was talking about before. So the title is, After Record High Stability, Is Bitcoin Finally Ready to Bounce? So this is an article about, on October 8th, Bitcoin achieved a 17-month low in volatility. So experts have stated that the cryptocurrency market is maturing as more funds from traditional finance sector flow into the market. And then, although the volume still remains about 2 billion on coincap.io and 3.3 billion on CoinMarketCap, basically this is saying, it's at a record high of stability, but they're also talking about exactly what you talked about before. You're starting to see a lot of these random altcoin rallies. So they talk about Tron and 0x, 15% increases. We've seen Ripple. We've seen Ripple in the past couple of weeks do the same. So yeah, if you want to talk about this a little more now, Socal, how do you see kind of this lack of volatility in Bitcoin, and what do you see it leading to for alts and all that kind of stuff?
Again, just
so you're telling us this is financial advice?
Yes, exactly.
All right, perfect.
This is just my opinion and such, so whatever. But anyway, it does lend credibility to the theory that we could be due for a trend reversal. because we've seen this before. Once you start seeing the drop in volatility, the price starts ranging in a tight range. You're not getting on Bitcoin, you're not getting big spikes up or down, and then you start seeing the random spikes on altcoins. Normally, what follows is a rally of sorts. Now, it could just be a short-lived, week-long, ordeal. Then right back to the chopping block again.
Right. How great's Twitter going to be for that 1 week though?
God, actually, I don't even want to think because there's gonna be so many assholes coming back that haven't posted in months. Go, I told y'all, motherfucker. Yeah. No, you didn't say nothing. Shut up. You've been dead for 3 months.
So true.
That's hilarious. Well, I mean, that's kind of what it's been. It looks like it did that. Kind of in the middle of August as well. We ranged in that tight little area. Then we saw go all the way up to almost 7,500, right, Chamber? Almost.
So close to 7,500.
Chamber had a bet on that and he lost. So, but he said it was going to go to 7,500 and it got to like 74.
And change.
50?
Yeah, exactly.
So he lost the bet. He lost the bet, and his wife had to dump cold water on him while he wasn't expecting it in the shower.
Oh, yeah, I remember seeing that.
Yeah, it's great.
So,
terrific.
Anyway. But, yeah, so, obviously we'll see if that is to happen. You did mention earlier that you thought, we might not see a real true trend reversal till either, later in the year or even early next year. So, does that mean, kind of the bottom's not in yet? Or do you think kind of we're at that stable bottom where it's, anywhere from 58 to 60, 61-ish is where that bottom is? What are your thoughts on that?
Well, if you would have asked me, 2-3 months ago, I probably would have said, yeah, we probably haven't seen the bottom yet. But since we've been pretty stable since we touched 5,800, like 3 months ago or whatever it was, August or whatever, since that happened, we haven't gone any lower than that. And we've pretty much stayed more or less in this 6,500 range, more or less. So it's kind of making me more confident in claiming that, we've probably already seen the bottom for this trend. However, Bitcoin is famous for making people eat their words when they say definitive statements like that.
Right.
So stay adaptable. But I am starting to hedge a bit more, starting a bit earlier, re-entering and such, because I'm feeling a bit more confident about it. Still not going all back in, but like I said, I'm feeling more confident that we've already seen the bottom.
Cool.
So, but yeah, that's just my opinion. I could be entirely wrong. But yeah, I've survived this long, so apparently I'm doing something right.
That's very true. Awesome, man. So that does it for our news. We're going to do something different that we've never done before, but we're going to kind of keep this as a running thing, but we're just going to move further and further down the list every time. But we're going to go into the crypto draft. So what we're going to do here is we're going to draft snake draft style the top 12 market cap coins on CoinMarketCap. So we did a random draw before the podcast started, and Chamber gets the number 1 pick in this draft.
Bastard.
So I got number 2, and unfortunately, Socal, you get 3. But it's a snake draft. It's snake draft style.
I like 3. I like 3rd. This is good.
It's snake draft style, so it's gonna go Chamber, me, Socal. You'll go twice, and then me again, and then Chamber will go twice until we've drafted the top 12. So before we start, I will just quickly read off what the top 12 are.
And we have to stay within the top 12, right?
Yes, you have to,
Okay.
because and then the next time we do this, we'll
We'll
go
do
from
13
12 to 24.
Right,
yeah,
gotcha.
13 to 24, whatever.
Gotcha.
So the order of these now are Bitcoin, Ethereum, Ripple, Bitcoin Cash, EOS, Stellar, Litecoin, Tether, Cardano, Monero, Tron, and IOTA.
Can we swap out Tether for the 13th?
We could if you want. The 13th is Dash. You want to do that instead? No Tether?
That makes sense, right?
Because Tether's a stable coin,
right?
So,
So
you're not gonna.
It's like betting on the referees.
Yeah, exactly.
I would have drafted Tether. All right,
Jesus Christ.
We're gonna do that.
I want to play fantasy football against you.
Current update on my crypto fantasy football league. I'm about to move to 3-1, I believe. So,
all right.
I'm about to potentially, unless I get 20 kicker points scored on me tonight, defeat I think Father of Bags in the Whale Reports League. So.
You're the kind of guy that drafts 4 kickers, huh?
I'll take Tether with my first 4 picks. All right, so let's get into it. Chamber, you've got the number 1 overall pick. What are you taking?
Are you kidding me right now? I'm going Bitcoin, obviously.
Right. God damn it!
Imagine I fucked you all up and went Bitcoin Cash, but that's not happening.
I would have loved if you would have gone Bcash. It would have been choice.
Yeah, no, I got to go Bitcoin for the win, unfortunately.
All right. With the second overall pick, Team Bunchu drafts Ethereum. I will be drafting Ethereum. I think I might have reached a little bit, depending on your thoughts about Ethereum long term and stability and scaling and all that. But I think at this point, it's still a safe. It's like David Johnson right now. So I'm going to take Ethereum. Socal, you're up. You go twice in a row.
I'm going to take Monero.
Yeah, that's a good pick.
Solid pick.
And do I really think Cripple has one more fucking full retard bull run in it?
And we should clarify. We should clarify.
I don't like it.
The way we win this is we submit our picks to Twitter, and Twitter votes on us. Is this how we're winning?
Mm-hmm. Twitter's
so
going to vote
you
on
can
whose
go. You can
portfolio
go with
is the
like
best.
the community that you think is going to help you get the
God!
wins.
If that was the case, I'd just pick fucking Tron, Cardano, and fucking Cripple.
Well, I mean, you shouldn't pick that way.
That's
but if
one
you
of
wanted
the.
to,
That's
you
one of the
could.
factors.
I mean, dude, you play to your fucking audience, all right? If this is a dum dum contest, then those are the ones I'm gonna be picking.
Well, let's test our audience here, and let's see how sophisticated they are.
No, I'm gonna choose Monero and fuck my whole life. I really don't like it. I'm gonna be honest. I don't like any of these other choices, man.
Yeah, a lot of them are not great.
Yeah, no. Yeah, okay. Well, fuck me. Yeah, Cripple, I guess, because I'm sure it's got one more fucking full retard run in it.
Yeah. Plus, you got all those Cripple fans out there too.
That's what I'm saying.
All right.
Lowest common denominator, buddy.
So Monero and Ripple for Socal.
Look how cheap it is on Coinbase.
Jesus Christ! Yeah. God.
Bitcoin's at $6,000.
That's like blood money. That's like blood money.
It's all right.
It's dirty money.
It's all money. It's all money.
Yeah,
I'm gonna go with my second pick. I'm going to go Stellar.
Good pick.
Stellar.
Yeah, I could see that.
I'm going with I'm going with Stellar there. I couldn't get myself to Bitcoin Cash, which was my other option, I think there. But all right, Chamber, you're up. You go twice.
I'm going twice. I'm going Bcash. I got both sides of that Bitcoin.
I knew you would do that. That's why I almost picked it.
Woo!
Next, he's gonna claim that he's fucking Satoshi.
Yeah.
No, I'm the real Craig Wright.
I am Craig Wright.
I knew it. So I'm gonna go. Dash.
Okay. All right. Interesting.
With my third pick.
All right.
I like
so,
Dash.
I'm going to, with my third pick, I'm going to go with Cardano.
It's a good pick.
ADA.
ADA.
Arise, chicken. Arise.
Is this a Litecoin pick?
Yep.
That's a Litecoin pick, and you
No.
go again.
Finish it off. This is your last pick.
What's left? I think there's
So you have IOTA left, Tron left, EOS.
and EOS.
Yeah.
Oh God.
Ooh, those
are all garbage.
I know what you're picking, Bunchu.
Oh, damn it. You know what? Tron. I guess.
I wanted Tron so bad.
I'm gonna leave. All right. So to round out mine, I'm gonna take EOS.
Oh, you are gonna take EOS.
Yep. I'm leaving you with
Ooh.
IOTA.
Ugh.
Let's leave the people. Let's leave the people to decide your fate.
Wow, I really
So-
got I got some psychos on my team.
I chose with what has insane dirty pump capabilities.
You do.
Yeah. You've got a good pumpable list for sure.
Not what has solid long-term
No.
fundamentals.
That's not what we're about.
No.
That's not what this draft is about.
Yeah, no. These ones have some dirty potential.
All right. So the final score here: Chamber with Bitcoin Cash, Dash, and IOTA. Bunchu coming in with Ethereum, Stellar, Cardano, and EOS.
I like that
hate
one. That's a nice
draft.
one.
It's scrappy. It's a scrappy draft. And then SoCal's got the face-melting pump draft: Monero, Ripple, Litecoin, and Tron. So we're gonna put that out on a poll tomorrow, and let's see who wins that one. That's gonna be fun.
I don't feel as confident with this one than I did my candy draft the other day.
Did you win the candy draft?
I was leading last time I checked, but I mean it was
settle
tight.
the score. We'll settle the score on that on Wednesday. But
Yeah.
I think I lost. I think I ended up losing.
No, I
that
think
draft.
we definitely have one more day. I put it in for 3 days. So
Okay. Anyway, all right. So that was the crypto draft. That's going to be fun to keep going down the list like that. So next we have rapid fire. So SoCal, rapid fire is just letting the people get to know you a little bit better. It's going to be non-crypto related questions. First off, we are in the season of Halloween, and you do wear a skeleton mask at times. The first question is, what was your favorite Halloween costume ever?
That I personally wore.
Yes.
yeah.
Oh, okay. Well then, I don't know if I should tell this story. It might offend people, but
Oh boy.
That's okay.
Hey,
we've-
it's REKT podcast. You do whatever you want.
all right, okay. Well, when I was younger, I was about 14.
How offensive could you have been at 14?
Yeah, that's the
Dude,
most
you have no
offensive
idea.
I was.
You have no. Well, we're about to delve into that. So,
We're gonna find out.
so when I was 14,
Is this still the 90s, by the way, or is this the 2000s?
early 2000s.
I was gonna say
2002.
the 90s were still
2001.
The 90s were still chocked full of offense, by the way. So,
No, this
yeah,
was 2001.
Okay,
this was
all right.
2001. Yeah. So anyway,
2001 was still full of offense. Like I was watching old episodes of The Office last week, and I couldn't believe that those were like they would never be on TV now.
Yeah.
Oh my god. Anyway,
but let's see here. Where was I? Oh yeah. So anyway, okay. So the neighborhood that my parents lived in at the time, the subdivision, there was like 3 streets, all right, and they all ran parallel. Okay, my parents lived in the middle street, down the middle street. Well, on the 3rd street at the very front, there was a church. And they did not believe in Halloween, so they would have their own.
But Halloween exists.
Yeah, they would have their own little October fair
Chamber.
to keep kids from going trick or treating, and no costumes were allowed. Blah blah blah. Well, it was all free, and there was free food. Well, my brother was 10, and once he found out there was free food down the road, he was there. So my mom made me take him, take my little brother to that little fucking church fair thing. Well, we get there, and no shit, all the parents, like all the adults, form almost almost interlock their arms, like they have their arms spread out, and they're like fingertip to fingertip. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And they corral all the kids into the church. No shit, they like forced us all into the church. Then the preacher comes up and he starts yelling and screaming about how the Catholics are out there worshiping the devil by trick-or-treating, and everybody who trick-or-treats and wears costumes is going to burn in hell. And so at that point, I stand up and I get my brother. I'm like, come on, we're leaving. And for a second, they like tried to stop me. And I was like, I will call the cops if you try to keep me in here. Get your fucking hands off of me.
Yeah.
And, I was furious. So they finally let me and my brother out. Like, it was, like, scary, dude.
No shit.
Like, yeah, so I take my brother back home. I have a black cape, like cloak. Like, it's a hooded cloak all the way down. It's a hood, and it's all the way down to my feet. And then I had a mask. It was a skull mask, but it had a plastic covering over it. And I had a little plastic heart that I would pump, and it would make the blood run down the skull.
Amazing.
And it would just recirculate. Yeah, and so I went back to the church, but I stood on the road, right on the very edge of their driveway, but I was still on the road on public property, and I didn't say a word to them. I just stood there and stared at them. A bunch of adults came over yelling and screaming and cussing at me, telling me to get the fuck out of there. I'm going to burn in hell. I'm the devil, and all sorts of shit. I was just I was trying so hard not to laugh because I knew it was creepier if I just stayed quiet.
100% creepier.
I just stood there, just blood running down the mask. It just stood there staring at them for about 10-15 minutes while they screamed at me. Then finally, they walked away. I laughed my ass off, and then I went home. So that was by far my favorite costume.
Oh,
but it wasn't even because of the costume; it was because of the circumstance.
Exactly.
Oh, that's so good. That's a pretty darn good story, actually.
That's fantastic.
I don't think that was.
No,
that was too highly offensive. So
I for sure thought that was. Yeah, good. I thought it was gonna be. I thought the costume was gonna be more offensive.
Well, no, I know some people are sensitive about religion.
So. Right, of course.
It's not here in crypto.
But
not here in crypto.
We ain't out here to tell you how to live your life. We're just here.
We're just out here giving out financial advice.
Yeah, that's it. All right. Next question. What is keeping a October-y theme? What is your favorite horror movie?
Oh man. Well, is horror comedy okay?
Sure. Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Then Shaun of the Dead all day, every day.
Let me give you a little.
But actual scary movies, like really anything zombie, basically.
Ooh, okay. So then here's your next question. What would be your weapon of choice in a zombie apocalypse?
Oh, geez,
Chamber, we got the audible groan out of him.
I know. It's a tough call. That's a big decision. That's that you're putting your life in your hands.
I'd say probably. Oh man. Now, okay, but now there's certain circumstances. If you choose a firearm, do you have unlimited ammo?
No, not unlimited.
Or just one clip? No, okay.
Well, you have some. I mean, probably more than one clip, but not unlimited ammo.
Yeah, you would have to then scrounge for more ammo.
Okay. Well, if just forced with no prior preparation, I would say probably either a crowbar or a metal bat. Because you're going to want something reusable, but also useful for other stuff besides killing. But is also effective towards destroying brains. So, you can use both of those to get into the places when you're not fighting, so you can scavenge more materials.
This guy's a thinker. Bunchu.
But now if you're asking for my personal zombie plan, well...
Let's talk about it. Go. That's our next question.
There is a small reserve military base out in the middle of nowhere that not a whole lot of people know about.
Interesting.
That's not too far from my house. That has everything. They have up-armored Humvees. They have boxes and boxes of MREs. Lots and lots of fuel, lots of ammo, lots of body armor, weapons,
Really?
everything.
All right.
And I'd say there's probably at any given point maybe about a couple hundred people maybe that know about it, and that's it. And yeah, anyway.
I feel like you've said too much already.
Well, I would definitely go there and stock up on supplies and link up with useful survivors.
You could probably live there.
This is way better than my plan.
No. You could not. It is the area is extremely unsecured. There's only a chain link fence around 3 sides, and then only a it's a big ditch, but a ditch. I mean, it's about, maybe 20, 25 feet across. So it's a big ditch, but it's just a ditch and a little bit of barbed wire on the backside. So extremely unsecured, no solid walls or anything. So yeah, it would not be defensible at all. I've already thought about that. But it would be a good staging point to supply and meet up.
Like a jumping off point.
Yeah, to head north, of course.
Yeah, exactly.
I feel like the 3-sided chain link fence just defeats the purpose of having a chain link fence at all.
Terrific.
Yeah. Well, because the backside, they figured, nobody's coming from the backside because it's a bunch of sugarcane fields. It's a bunch of sugarcane fields for like miles, and then and it's like a 25-foot ditch across to get to the sugarcane fields. There's nothing back there. So they're just like, whatever, we don't really care.
All right, last rapid fire question. We had the Halloween candy draft the other day. What is your favorite Halloween candy? Twix. That was a good one. That was Chamber. You took Twix?
I definitely took Twix.
I wanted that one really bad, but Twix is a good answer. All right, that's our rapid fire segment. That was a fun one. So we got one more segment here. It's the REKT index.
Brutal, savage, REKT.
So the REKT index, Chamber. Why don't you give us an update first?
All right. You know what? Over the weekend, we had some positive momentum. We talked about it a little earlier. Our portfolio. When did we start this, by the way? I want to say July?
It was probably middle of July.
Yeah.
I think actually it was the beginning of July, technically. I think because we got picks from people starting in our first podcast.
Right, yeah,
but
exactly.
We didn't start buying them till middle of July, but yeah.
Okay. So since then, our BTC portfolio change is up 10.6%.
Ooh.
Which, pretty reasonable.
Very.
Considering when we started. The total Ethereum value is up 81%, and our USD value is down 10.5%.
It's all right, though.
Yeah, we were talking before the show. Our quant bag is kind of back to where it was when we were trying to figure out if and when to sell it.
We still haven't.
Still haven't, but we haven't lost any momentum. Tomo's up, BNB, and then down at the bottom.
What's below the Chamber line?
Oh, a lot. Well, actually, what do we got? XDNA, Z Classic, Nebulous, Digibyte, and Sys.
Yikes.
So, not ideal.
Should have sold that Syscoin at 96 BTC.
I know, so close, so close.
Anyway, so SoCal, the REKT index is basically we take a couple picks from each of our guests, and we that they think are going to do well over a long term or short term or whatever, but and we actually buy them with our REKT index money. So we put our money where our mouth is, and hoping not to get wrecked. So do you have 2 or 3 projects you want to talk about that you might think we should add to the REKT index?
Oh, let's see.
And this would be the time to
Shill some projects.
No, that'll be next. But this will be the time to give us any of those face melters that we've been referring to.
That'd be terrific, actually, if you could give us a couple of those.
Oh well, I don't know.
Yeah, we got to be able to buy them on kind of the top 6 or 7 exchanges.
I think. I mean, these have all been pretty okay. Coins that I think have good potential.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. That's a bit easier. Obviously, I would have to go with Pearl being one of them. Obviously.
PIRL.
Yes.
Okay.
PIRL. Denarius.
That sounds like a Game of Thrones.
Yes, sure does. I've never even heard of that. What is it?
Really?
I have heard of it.
Yeah. It's actually been doing not terrible, all things considered.
That's what we like. If we can go for not terrible, that's
well. I mean, it's definitely had a drawdown. I mean, everything has since the peak when everything was ape shit. But I mean,
that chart on Denarius looks good.
Yeah, it's nowhere. it's nowhere near the lows that it saw. Prior to.
That's on Cryptopia.
Bull run. Yeah. It's on a couple. It's on Cryptopia. It's on CryptoBridge. A couple other places.
Trade Ogre too, I think.
Yeah. But anyway, Denarius has some good potential, and Arionum.
Oh my God, what is that?
Python coin.
What's the ticker for that?
ARO.
ARO. Okay.
And then last one I'll drop you is Bismuth.
Bismuth, I've heard of that one, yeah. All right, let's see
awesome.
Here. That's
so we're gonna add those to our REKT index, and we will track them. And you'll be added to the list of all of our guests that have given us.
If people we either yell at or praise
on a weekly basis. Awesome, man. So that's going to do it for all the segments that we have and everything like that. I definitely want to give you a chance to kind of talk about any projects that you're working on, affiliated with, anything that you're passionate about, and where can people find you, everything like that.
Well, I'm on Twitter at Socal_Crypto. I'm also on Discord, and I do have a YouTube channel, but I don't ever update it because I'm an idiot. But projects that I'm associated with are Pearl, PIRL, Pearl Coin, and as I stated earlier, military token. Mills.
That's pretty cool. What are you kind of? I know obviously you were in the military, but how are you working with them, and what are they kind of all about?
Military token is let's put it. Easiest way to explain what we're trying to do with that is everybody, at least in America, everybody loves veterans, right? Everybody would love to purchase goods and services from veterans, correct?
Yep.
I'm not too far off in saying in making that general statement. Anyway, the problem is people are lazy and they don't even know where to begin to find a veteran-owned business or veteran-produced goods. Unless it says so, stamped on the product, or they got to sign up in the window if it's a service saying, "No, we're veterans," whatever. You don't really know. Well, we want to become more or less the Amazon for veteran-produced goods and veteran-owned businesses. So you just go to one website and boom, you can purchase any good or service from veterans right there.
That's pretty awesome.
That's awesome.
And there's also the secondary effect of we will also be helping out, working with veteran focused nonprofits and charities as well.
That's really cool. That's an awesome project.
And everything will be 100% transparent because it's all on the blockchain, blah blah blah. But we already have something like 30 vendors.
Wow.
That have agreed to use our platform.
That's amazing.
Yeah, and we haven't even launched it yet. So
wow, that's pretty cool. So definitely everybody check that out. Is there a website or something we can find?
Militarytoken.io.
Cool. We will for sure link that, and we'll link the Pearl as well in the show notes and in our tweets, and that's awesome. So other than that, just a couple more housekeeping items from me. Please follow us on Twitter.
Please.
REKT_podcast. Our Twitter following is great, and we're getting a lot of
honestly
awesome
stop following us on Twitter, because the Twitter followers are going to soon overtake my actual
my own personal account.
Yeah, it's too much.
Yeah, we're gonna get passed on our own personal accounts by our podcast.
That can't be happening.
Anyway, but REKT at REKT_podcast. Join us in our Telegram group if you're on Telegram, t.me/REKT_podcast. Leave us a 5-star review on iTunes if you feel so inclined.
Yeah, just do it. It's super easy.
Those help immensely. Leave us a comment. Tell us what your zombie apocalypse weapon would be, or what's your favorite, or what you would draft in the first top 12 of your draft. Anything like that. We will appreciate that as well. And then one more item. We are going to have our second crypto poker tournament on Sunday, October 14th at 7:30 p.m. So, Chamber, you took down third place last time. You're going to come back and try to defend your title?
Yeah, of course I am. I didn't get first place.
Yeah, you're going to come back and try to take the crown.
Yeah.
So we're going to do that. We'll tweet out the links and everything for that. If you want to be in, just get at me on Twitter or Telegram at Bunchu Bets, and I will send you all the info there as well. But it's going to be on Crypto Poker Club again this Sunday, October 14th, I believe.
Yeah, that's correct.
At 7:30 p.m. So come play with us. That was a lot of fun last time. But anyway, other than that, until next time, don't get wrecked, and that is financial advice.